Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome to the supposed finale of Endwalker. Today we're taking a look at the patch 6.55 MSQ. I've heard it's somewhere between an hour to 2 hours long, so we'll see just how long it actually takes. Unfortunately, Final Fantasy XIV has had varying degrees in terms of how long their final patches are in terms of the MSQ. Yeah, this could end up being shorter than that, so we'll see. Anyway, we're overlooking Thavnair here, and frankly, this is probably going to be one of the last times we ever visit Thavnair, at least in terms of the MSQ, especially since we are headed to the New World when the expansion comes out. But anyway, let's go ahead and speak to Varshan. So, when one door closes... Prince, one of my clerks was just here with a message for you. The students of Baldesion request your presence in Sharlayan at your earliest convenience. Indebted as I am to our friends, I had hoped that I too might be of service, but it is you alone that they require. If you've no pressing business, pray make your way to the Baldesion Annex at once. Ojika awaits your arrival. In the meantime, I shall continue showing Ajdaya the city. From notable landmarks to the people's lives, there is still much and more for her to see. Farewell for now, my friend. I look forward to the day when we set forth on another adventure together. Alright, let us make our way over to Old Sharlayan. And we make for the Annex. Busy today. A warm and hearty welcome to you, Prince. I gather you received our message. Please wait here while I fetch Kryal and Graha. Thank you for coming on such short notice. And forgive us for sending for you so soon after your trials in the Void, to say nothing of your grueling battle against the 12. Now then, we aren't actually the ones who require your presence, but Erenville. He stopped by recently, you see, and asked us to reach out to you on his behalf. I imagine you're as surprised as we are, given that he was supposed to be away on a long expedition. Something must have necessitated a change in his plans. All he would tell me is that there is someone whom he wishes Prince to meet. He also mentioned that he would be tending to business at the studium. Shall we look for him there? Alright, to the studium we go then. And actually, they're outside the studium, apparently. Now then, where is Erenville?
Erenville!
Apologies for the wait. I hope I haven't called you away from anything important. I chanced upon some commissioned items at my destination, so I thought I might deliver them.
Where did you go, if I may ask?
The New World. Tural.
You went to Tural? Then the person who you wish to introduce...
Aye, she hails from there. I present to you...
But it seems you've lost her.
Did she wander off?
Sorry. It's just so different here. I can't help but want to explore.
Well, while you were exploring, your candidate came to us. This is him. The adventurer you crossed the seas to meet.
Ooh, you weren't exaggerating. It's plain he's no ordinary man. I'm Uklamat, claimant to the throne of Tulihuela.
And there we have the first of the female Hrothgar in this game.
Tulihuela.
It's Tural's governing nation. The capital bears the same name.
I'll get to the point. I want you to come with me to my homeland.
Given the magnitude of the request, perhaps you should explain why you're making it?
Of course. Soon, an event of great import will be held in Tural. The right of succession. Taking the form of a contest, it will determine who next ascends the throne. As daughter to its present keeper, I will participate. And I have every intention of winning. I was searching for champions to join me when Erenville told me about you. A mighty warrior who knows no fear, who sweeps aside terrible fiends as if they were reeds, who flew to the edge of existence and saved our star.
Yeah, you would kind of think they might have been dealing with the final days over in the New World as well. Not to mention Marasidia, but nobody's mentioned that place yet.
She asked who Eorzea's greatest hero was, and so I told her. Much more elegantly, I might add.
Now you know why. You'll come to Tural, yes?
Wait, let's all just slow down. Wuklamat, was it? You claim to be of the royal family, but is it not the Mamulja who rule in Tural?
Tulihuela is a nation of many peoples. Not only the Mamulsha, as some across the seas are quick to assume.
Yeah, I'm just noticing now, actually, she's got a warrior's axe on her back there, so... Good guess by me, I guess, to change my class, or my job this expansion from Paladin to Warrior.
That said, its present ruler is a Mamulsha, and one blessed with two heads besides. He's also my father. Not by blood, obviously, but he raised me as his own, and that's what matters.
So that is the way of it. My apologies if I was indelicate.
Hardly. I know little about your land, and nothing about your parentage. But in my eagerness, I've gotten ahead of myself. I can't expect you to agree on the spot when we've only just met.
Hey there, Wolfric.
If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Just know, though, that if it's adventure you seek, you could do far worse than come with me. Now, this is only a rumor. But apparently, the contest will involve the fabled city of gold and the legendary beast, Valyarmanda. Tell me that doesn't pique your interest.
Come to think of it, Emmett Selk did want us to go visit the New World, so... Golden City, I've heard about it before.
So the tales have reached even these shores. I can't help but feel proud.
I advise you not to put much store by these rumors. Golden cities are not but a dreamer's fancy.
Says the dreamer who was bent on finding one when he was a child. Just because you failed doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Tuliolal and the Golden City. Just like in the letter to Grandfather.
Regardless of what the contest may entail, it'll be no simple thing. If I'm to triumph, I'll need capable and dependable companions. So let's go on a hunt together. There's no better way to get acquainted.
Alright, that completes that quest. And we are moving on to... The game is afoot. The chance to see not only Tyrol, but the fabled Golden City besides. This is the stuff of grand adventures, my friend. Which is not to say you should hastily accept this invitation, mind. There's still a great deal we do not know. So let us begin to rectify that by first getting acquainted with our visitor in the manner she suggests. I'm not certain what might be a suitable location for her hunt, however. When I was at the guild earlier, I learned about a petition from researchers on the Isle of Ham. You went there not long ago and culled some unruly fauna, of course. But according to recent reports, other ordinarily docile fauna have grown savage. It's believed that they've been unsettled by some manner of predator, and so the researchers seek assistance with identifying and dispatching it. As part of your hunt, perhaps you might answer the petition? The Isle isn't far, and we would also be helping those in need. That works for me. Just so you know, I've honed my skills against some of the fiercest beasts in Tyrol. Whatever this creature is, it had better be able to put up a proper fight, or it'll end before we have a chance to get acquainted. And before we can prove ourselves capable and dependable companions, my apologies, but I must see to some preparations. Pray go on ahead to the Isle. I will join you as soon as possible. If the rest of you are ready, let us head to the harbor. This being guild ship business, it should be simple enough to secure a vessel. Alright, we make for the harbor then. Here we are. And that shine means that duty calls. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on or rather, I'm gonna eat a baked eggplant here. So we have to take a ship? Ugh, and I barely set foot on dry land. Oh well, I suppose it's for a good cause. A hunt! Come on, let's get going. Okay, upon boarding the ship, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. It's been a while since we've gotten one of these messages. In addition, you will be required to participate in battle. Your progress will be saved at certain points. Okay. And here we go.
From here, we must walk.
So much ice. It rivals even Yogg-Tural. Oh, a white bear! I wonder what it tastes like.
Remember, we're here to deal with creatures that have been deemed an unacceptable danger. Do not attack anything else unprovoked.
I know. I know. So this is the isle where ether literally bursts forth.
Aye, the Isle of Ham. The geysers lie deep inland, however.
You really are knowledgeable. Kona told me nothing about this place.
I doubt your brother managed to come out this way. He's like to have toured facilities like Labyrinthos, however.
The great big cavern under the city. It's amazing that they could make a sky down there complete with a sun.
This brother of yours, he has been to Sharlayan.
Yeah, Rooks, considering what we saw in the trailer, I can only assume that they hunt pretty frequently over in Tural for their daily meals, and they are quite the feast that come out of those, so.
He has. Kona's my second older brother, and until recently he was a student in this city. He went on and on about technological amusements. It made me want to come here too one day. And so I did. I think I understood something of how he felt when I set foot in his beloved studium.
He went to the studium? Your brother must be quite a scholar. But I wonder, like you, he'd be royalty, yes? With such a personage coming to Sharlayan to receive an education would surely have caused a stir, yet I recall nothing of the sort.
He consulted with the head of the studium beforehand, that his identity might remain secret. Being Mikote, he had no trouble blending in. He's adopted like me, you see.
Sounds like this ruler is a lot like Obel Dalgan, then.
One time, though, he almost let it slip to a professor. It was all he could do to parry the barrage of questions.
Having no shortage of questions myself, I can imagine.
Ask whatever you like. I don't mind. But I maintain, hunting together is the best way to get to know someone.
The researchers should be up ahead. Let's find them and learn what we can.
All right.
The researcher should be just ahead. There. The building to the northeast.
So, ordinarily harmless creatures have grown savage.
Don't know what's got them riled up, but I'll take down any that thinks to try me. Right, let's hunt our fill.
Look! Someone's in trouble!
Yeah? Taste my axe!
These animals are usually so docile.
I do like that they're actually giving us voice lines here. It's sometimes these duties don't even have voice lines. Oh, thank goodness you've come. I take it you're the one who answered our petition? Wait, aren't you? You are. Prince, the adventurer who saved our star. Would that our meeting was under better circumstances. I was conducting a routine inspection of the transporter here when I suddenly found myself surrounded. You'll find more of the same across the chasm. Once docile animals grown strangely aggressive. My colleagues there can tell you more. If you'll give me just a moment, I can finish checking our equipment.
You really are famous.
And for good reason, as you'll soon see for yourself.
Quite an interesting contraption you've got here.
Is that our petitioner? Let's go and have a chat.
The adventurer come to answer my petition, I presume. We're most fortunate to have one of your considerable skills here to aid us. A creature of unknown origins has been sighted on the island in recent days, and we believe its presence has affected the local fauna. The animals beyond this gate, are the worst affected we've encountered thus far, though we dare not go back. Your task is to quell any threats you find, and search for traces of the beast responsible for all this. If you should find anything at all, we would be most grateful if you would share it with us. I don't think we're dealing with the falls in this case. That seems unlikely.
I'll handle this.
Okay, let's see what you can do.
Hold still.
Oh, that's an ability I don't have yet.
Is that all? Come on, let's pick up the creature's trail.
You find ravaged beast remains torn to shreds by sharp talons.
These claw marks. I've seen their like before. It's starting to feel like a proper hunt.
Here we go, tattered plumage. find feathers are scattered about on the ground. There are signs of a fierce struggle.
Feathers. But did they belong to the predator or the prey?
So, how do you prefer our prey? Roasted or raw?
You presume it's even safe to eat?
The cloying stench of fresh leavings assails your nostrils. Whatever beast left them is likely still close by.
Still fresh. Whatever this beast, it cannot be far.
Do you suppose they're upset we disturbed their home?
Who knows? But if they're spoiling for a fight, then they've got one.
Let's head back and report what we found.
Doesn't want me jumping down the cliff, huh? Alright. That makes sense. We had to enter from the gate.
Powerful wings and razor-sharp talons. Worthy prey. Ah! What is that thing?
What, you're not ready for a hunt?
It speaks?
It's heading towards the falls.
I'll stay with the researchers. The creature, I leave to you.
Come, Woklamat.
Right. Just so we're clear, I wasn't startled by the beast earlier. It caught me by surprise, that's all.
Forgive me, but I failed to see a difference.
Same here.
I'm getting hungry. Let's be done with this so we can eat.
Caught me by surprise! Caught me by surprise!
Think you're clever, huh? I'll rip off that beak and roast you on a spit!
If I had to take a guess here, though, I would say somebody got into growth potion or something like that. Anyway, let's do this.
Talk all you like, bird. I'm going to have the last laugh. Oh, I'm going to enjoy sinking my teeth into you.
I'm going to have the last laugh!
Ah, shut up already, you blasted bird!
Shut up already!
out!
I've never seen such an enormous colibri.
Not good. Quickly, gather together. I've got you.
That was too close.
A warrior that can use rescue.
Spread out, everyone!
You pay for that.
Ooh, it's been a while since we've seen one of those.
Thank you. That was hardly a tickle. Try this.
That's one wing.
Nothing to it.
Oh, and they got the other one. Okay.
We have you now, you loudmouth bastard!
Throw everything you have at it.
All right, duty complete.
And I had barely limbered up.
It was a terrible foe, but no match for your axe.
Only to be expected.
It's obvious she doesn't have as much battle experience as she puts on.
You were pretty impressive yourselves. I was right to invite you on a hunt. But what a curious bird that was. Though we have similar in Tural, they don't grow so big or use such dirty tricks.
Dirty tricks! Dirty tricks!
Aye, dirty and despicable. Otherwise, I could have easily...
Might be a bit slow as well.
Leave this to me!
Hello, Pictomancer Kryle.
Come at you!
Kryle.
I am terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
She arrived as I was seeing the researchers to safety. It was all I could do to keep up with her after I explained what happened.
So this is what you meant by seeing to preparations?
After hearing of the contest, I thought how wonderful it would be to join you. In coming here, I wanted to demonstrate my skill at arms to Wuklamut. Alas, it seems I missed most of the action.
That was amazing! The piece didn't stand a chance!
I'm glad to have been of service.
May I ask what inspired this change?
You will recall the time you descended to the ethereal sea in search of Hydaelyn. Recognizing that my skills were inadequate, I chose to provide support from afar, rather than join you. It was the same when you set forth for Ultima Thule. How it pained me to stay behind, again and again.
And then even all the times in Mordona as well, I'm sure.
That's what inspired this change. Ever since the final days were averted, I've used every spare moment to hone my craft. As you all have adapted your methods to suit the circumstances, I started by considering how I might best contribute. And after much deliberation, I arrived at my answer. With the esoteric art passed down by the legendary Archon realm, Pictomancy.
Yeah, they gotta show that, that they gotta show off the new job. But at the same time, I mean, the outfit that she's wearing is traditionally, if I remember correctly, a summoner's outfit. So,
As I recall, you have embraced versatility to effectively complement a certain someone's style. What I do is much the same. Like you, I don't want to be left behind.
Indeed. I must say, you appear to be especially keen on being involved in the ritual of succession. Is there any particular reason?
Yes, there is. This letter from Tuli Yolal. It was addressed to my grandfather Galuf and turned up among the students' archives. The ink was faded, so I couldn't fully make out the sender's name. Galul, someone.
Jaja. Gulul Jaja. That's my father, the Dawn servant. What does the letter say?
While much of it isn't legible, it appears to be a request to investigate the Golden City.
A request to investigate the Golden City? From the Dawn Servant himself?
Well, well. Seems it may be more than a rumor after all.
Being a member of the royal family, it was my hope that you could confirm the authenticity of this letter.
I can say for a fact that my father didn't write this. Given how culturally diverse Tuliyollal is, it was decided some time ago that a common language was needed. But instead of elevating an existing tongue and its speakers above all others, we looked to those widely spoken overseas and created an altogether new one. The similarities to your common tongue also make it quite easy to communicate in these situations, no? This letter, however, is entirely in Eorzean. If Father had written this, he would have been in Turali.
So then there's a plot going on to get people from Eorzea over there. Granted, blue mage, but besides that.
And what's more, it bears a wax seal. We don't bother with them.
So the letter is fraudulent, then?
Hey, Firebird.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. My father's signature is genuine, as far as I can tell, so perhaps he simply dictated it.
I see. Oh, thank you for the confirmation. It seems my grandfather indeed had dealings with Tuliyollal.
Well, that's one way to lead your players on, then.
I can't help but be curious as to what exactly he was doing there. In order to help us decide on a course of action, would you mind if I asked you some questions about your home?
By all means. After all, learning about one another was the purpose of this hunt. We can talk while feasting on this fellow. I, for one, am starving.
We're eating that.
Alright, Erenville. With the wildlife pacified and the researchers safe, our task is complete. That just leaves the matter of the colibri meat. For better or for worse, there's really only one place we can take it to here in Sharlayan, the last stand. Come, let us see what Dickon can cook up for us. Oh yeah, no doubt they're going to bring that up later in the story. Alright, we are at the last stand. Well now, there's a famished face if I've ever seen one. What can I get you, Prince? Oh ho, bird meat from the hunt, you say? Leave it to me. I have just the recipe. It's a new dish I recently learned from some sailors, and for you lot, it's on the house. Have as much as you like, you hear?
Come, come. Let's enjoy the bounty of our first outing together.
Looks more like ribeye than it does chicken to me.
I'd heard that Sharlayan cuisine was terrible, but this is fantastic.
Just don't have the Archon loaf.
What is this? Oh, it smells spicy.
Oh, come now. Since when did you become so soft? It's not like we don't have spicy food in Tural, too.
According to Dickon, intensely hot dishes have become popular in Razadhan after a traveler ordered a curry with several times the usual amount of spice.
Oh! Oh, that's a callback to the meal I requested made. Oh, wow.
So he started offering the same in order to please the growing Harnish population here in Sharlayan.
It's nothing I can't handle.
Your boorish manners reflect poorly on the both of us. I wish you would consider your station.
You also might want to try some milk or something.
I swear, sometimes it feels like you open your mouth only to criticize.
Would I be correct in assuming you've known each other for a long time?
Aye, thick as thieves since we were little.
I beg to differ. She is a long-standing acquaintance. Nothing more.
I see. I see.
Makes me wonder if she has a crush on him or something.
All this time you were from Tural. Oh, would that I had known sooner. There's so much I'd like to ask.
You and everyone else. I've kept it quiet so as to avoid the endless interrogations.
Well, if he's going to be a miser, I'll be happy to tell you about our homeland instead. Since ancient times, many peoples have called Tural home, and they've been fighting each other for nearly as long. The fighting finally stopped some 80 years ago, when the reigning Dawn Servant unified the disparate communities and founded a new nation.
And that's how Tuliolal came to be.
Since then, we've enjoyed an era of uninterrupted peace. But my father is getting old, and he wishes to relinquish the throne to a worthy successor. One who can preserve his legacy. Including myself, there are 4 claimants to the throne. But while we all have the right to participate, one among us cannot be allowed to rule.
A man who is too ambitious by half. Word of the Garlean Empire's collapse has reached Tural. While most are simply relieved, he sees weakness to exploit and would lead our armies across the seas on a campaign of conquest.
After everything my father has done to give us peace, he would drag us back into war. I can't allow it. No matter what, I must win this contest.
I understand your reasons. But this being an event that will dictate the course of your nation's future, is it appropriate for outsiders like us to be involved?
I would dare say this would also probably be an appropriate time for the Echo to chime in and perhaps give us a bit more detail about this man. That plus, really, should our objective not be necessarily letting you win, but rather preventing them from winning?
Oh, it's more than appropriate. The Dawn Servant himself expressly encourages it. The ruler of Tural must navigate the intricacies of myriad cultures, and there's no better way to prove oneself qualified to do so than to work with foreign allies. That's why I sought you out. Through our hunt, I've confirmed that you're a warrior of considerable skill, but more importantly, one of good character as well. And so I ask you, will you lend me your strength and help me win the throne of Tulihualal? You don't need to decide right this moment. But I will need you if I'm to triumph over the competition. I'll stay here as long as I can while waiting for your answer.
I'm curious what would have happened if we had said no.
In that case, allow us to prepare a room for you at the Baldessian Annex.
That's very kind of you.
But I'm not saying no to going to the New World, just saying I would want to learn if outsiders are actually getting involved in this thing, then I'd also want to learn about the two other competitors that we haven't heard about yet.
Oh, and one more thing. Once we finish eating, would you mind if I took the rest of the meat?
Need a midnight snack, huh? Whether Wook Lamat has the makings of a ruler, I couldn't say, but I do know that she deeply cares for her nation and her people. Whether you choose to help her, though, is for you and you alone to decide. Think on it well. Now then, it's past time I reported our mission's success to the guild ship. I would have done so sooner, except Her Highness needed to have her royal meal. I shall come by the annex later. Till then. Yeah, I'm not exactly happy with these options. I'll go for the silver. Well, I dare say we now have a fair grasp of Wuklamat's situation. Still, you've been afforded time to consider her invitation. Why not use it to learn more about Tural? Numenon is bound to have some information on the continent. You know, if those books can put Matoya to sleep, I'm sure it would put me to sleep as well. But no, it certainly wouldn't hurt to be better informed. Matoya, Y'shtola! I'm still calling her Matoya from Shadowbringers. Alright. Quite right. Not only would it help you to make an informed decision, but if you do choose to go, you would be better prepared for what awaits. Come, my friend, let us be off to the archives. Alright, so we're gonna take the Ethernet over there. And let's pick up the speed just a little bit. The origins of blue magic can be traced back to the esoteric practices of the Wallaki, a tribe in the distant continent of Tyrol. The tribe holds nature in the highest, and in seeking to cultivate a spiritual connection with it, they have learned to harness the power of the wildlife around them. In exchange for teaching them the common tongue, I was permitted to live among them and train in their ways. Those days were some of the most grueling I remember, but they were tremendously rewarding. For instance, I had the privilege of visiting Lapis Canyon, the tribe's sacred grounds. It is so named for the ceruleum deposit that wells up to the surface, turning the entire canyon a brilliant blue. Under a shaman's watchful eye, I finally managed to master the Wallaki's art and make the animal's powers my own. As no name existed for it in the common tongue, I took the liberty of naming it Blue Magic. The reason I chose this color, as you will have doubtless gleaned, is for the significance it holds to the Wallaki. I cannot think of a name more fitting to honor the people from whom this noble magic was born. Well, that sounds like the person that introduced us to blue magic. Let us begin by comparing the geographical characteristics of the three great continents and Tyrol. The former stretches from east to west and lies entirely within the northern hemisphere. In contrast, the latter extends to the far reaches of both northern and southern hemispheres, and a difference immediately presents itself in the form of climate variance. Shifts in climate tend to be gentler when moving east and west, but harsher when moving north and south. Owing to this fact, longitudinal migration is far more common in history, whether it be by men, animals, or plants. A case in point is the Allegans, who rose to power in Aldenard before advancing east into Ilsabard. Their movement would be mirrored thousands of years later by the Garleans. Meanwhile, although the disparate tribes of Tyrol waged war with one another for generations, stymied by the climate, none could make any great headway north or south. Tribes hailing from frozen lands withered beneath the desert sun, while those that thrived in open plains could not pierce its dense jungle. Such was the way of it, until the leader of the Malmuja succeeded in bringing the continent under one banner. Given the land's divided history and the reason thereof, one cannot help but be in awe of this feat. Truly, it is a testament to the Autarch's greatness. You know, random thought, and this is going back to closer to the start of the expansion, but what was the plan to get the people of Tyrol off the planet if that was necessary? Like, was the ship just going to eventually arrive there? Or, I don't know. Anyway. Every land has given rise to unique wildlife, and the continent of Tyrol is no exception. Yet while some of her creatures have become a familiar sight in Eorzea, many more exist that are rarely seen this side of the Indigo Deep. This tome introduces a select variety of species as described in the testimonies of sailors and adventurers. Okay. This is, I would say, a point that probably this whole thing should have been held off on until the expansion happened, because we're basically looking at it like, what, at least a 5-6 month wait between now and the visit to Tyrol. So, in that amount of time, I doubt I'm going to remember any of this here. Anyway, Alpaca. Accustomed to Tyrol's craggy mountain ranges, this four-legged beastkin has been domesticated for seemingly hundreds, if not thousands of years. Their soft white fleece is highly prized by weavers, while their strong legs and sure-footedness make them capable beasts of burden. Wevre. This ferocious scalekin is native to the dense jungles of Tyrol. The Mamulja have succeeded in taming them and utilize their prodigious strength for manual labor. Given their immense size and power, it should come as no surprise that the Wevra is also employed as a siege beast. Enemy fortifications cannot long withstand this horned brute's rampage. Valigarmanda. Tyroli folklore holds that this bird-like creature is the mightiest of beasts, and the very embodiment of nature's power. Whether it extends beyond myth, however, is uncertain. Alright, last book. It is impossible to adequately discuss Eorzean cuisine without speaking of that land from which many of our modern-day staples hail, the far western continent of Tyrol. Ogre pumpkins, ruby tomatoes, even the ubiquitous popoto. These crops, and more, that regularly grace Eorzean dining tables, trace their origins to the New World, as the place is known to most. The tale of this culinary immigration begins in the year 1498 of the 6th Astral Era, when a Lominsan sailor named Ketenram successfully traversed the Indigo Deep to arrive at the theretofore unknown continent. Ketenram spent several moons exploring inland, in the course of which he encountered the denizens of the sprawling nation of Mamulja. He was even granted an audience with their supreme leader, whose confidence he won, along with permission to roam freely. Ketenram would return to Tyrol several times, but during his first expedition he chartered the land and gathered myriad root vegetables and seeds to bring back to Limsa Lominsa. The most notable of these was the popoto, whose ease of cultivation and nutritional value saw it quickly spread across all corners of Eorzea. Produce was far from the only bounty of Ketenram's expedition to Tyrol. Many tantalizing recipes, such as the bean-filled burrito, and gripping legends, such as that of the Golden City, reached our shores by way of his ship. To those outside of Ketenram's circle, Tyrol largely remains shrouded in mystery, yet its influence on our cuisine cannot be overstated. Many scholars, myself included, would relish the chance to immerse themselves in the culinary culture of that faraway continent. Having perused a wide selection of books relating to Tyrol, you are somewhat better informed about your potential destination. Grahatia will be eager to know what you have discovered. Should you wish to read these books again, speak with the reference page. Okay, so at least they give you a chance to then reread them, I guess. Scoured the library to your satisfaction, have you? Excellent. While there are few books wholly dedicated to the subject of Tyrol, I dare say you found tidbits of useful information scattered here and there. But come, let's continue outside. The mammoths do not take kindly to chatter. Now then, I'm quite keen to hear your honest impressions. I couldn't help but notice that we read the very same book on cuisine. I was pleasantly surprised to find references to Tyrol within. Among them, did anything in particular pique your interest? I was rather taken with the tale of Kettenram. Ah, yes, the renowned Lominsan explorer who traversed the Indigo Deep and discovered the unknown West. And his accomplishments didn't end there. He traveled Tyrol extensively and even forged a friendship with the Dawn Servant. If we were able to meet Kettenram, what things we could learn. Alas, all this happened nigh 80 years ago, and he may no longer be alive to tell his tales. Well, we do have a crystal tower capable of time traveling, don't we? But I doubt they're gonna bring that up here. But moving on, did you perchance learn aught about the fauna of Tyrol? Given your adventuring background, I expect the topic would interest you. I learned about the Valle Garmanda. Now, why do I get the impression you're imagining pitting your skills against the fell beast? He's not wrong. Unfortunately, I found scant details on your would-be prey. One source simply described it as an enormous winged creature with scales hard as steel that rules the skies. I should like to see it with my own eyes, presuming it even exists. I thought I heard familiar voices. Fancy running into the two of you here. Well, well, have some research of your own, do you? Aye. We hope to arm ourselves with knowledge that may benefit the Garlean people. Having forged a new trade agreement with Ranzat Han, they will next look to foster relations with other nations. This includes former imperial provinces. In view of this, we hope to find hints in history on how neighbors of differing races and ideologies might engage with one another. And what of the two of you? What endeavor brings you here this day? A nation composed of the disparate peoples of Tyrol. I dare say this is precisely the kind of example we seek. We do well to read up on Tuliolial ourselves. I'm surprised I hit that on the first try. The contest. Is Prince the only one allowed to help Wook Lamont? There was no mentions of such restrictions, as I recall. On the contrary, Wook Lamont gave us the impression that she could have several champions. Oh yeah, definitely, Brooks. I completely agree with you there. I think I know how to make the most of our respite. Follow me, Alphino. We have planning to do. Hey there, Kyoka. Thanks for tuning in. I was say, wait! would seem our plans have changed, if you'll excuse me. They never could rest on their laurels. Come, let us return to the annex. Alright, back to the annex we go then. Oh, you're out, you're over here.
Oh, it's just... Despite all that we've learned, I can't help but feel we've yet to hear the whole story.
Doing great here today, Kyokya.
What about you, my friend? Are you inclined to accept or refuse Worklamat's request?
Again, I would want to learn more about the other contestants. I'm still undecided, to be honest.
I don't blame you. No matter the assurances, it's no simple thing to wade into the midst of a political struggle, and in a foreign land at that.
Plus, we don't know what her aspirations are after she wins.
How about this then? Instead of deciding here, go there first and then decide. In the course of seeing new lands and meeting new people, you'll surely find a way forward. That's what adventurers do, is it not? Such a journey would be the envy of many a scholar. Distant as it is, Tural remains largely unknown to us, with only meager records to be found in Numenon. The experiences to be had, all the things you might hear, feel, and think. It's enough to stir me to the core.
You just had to bring up Heidelin's quote, didn't you?
Life is a series of journeys, my friend, and there's no telling what awaits us on the long road. But what's important is to be true to yourself as you walk it. Only then can we hope to be content when we arrive at the end of one and step forward into another. Ah, but there's an idea. I have a matter to attend to at the Agora. Please, go on inside. I will join you shortly.
Alrighty. Thank Fred. Alright, let's head for the annex. If I had to guess, this is probably going to be the last cutscene. Welcome back, Prince. If you're looking for Wuklamot, she is currently with the others in her chambers. If you like, I can go and fetch them for you. Understood. Please wait in the main hall. Thank you for tuning in. I'm hoping that I can satisfy
you
you.
have the look of someone who's made up their mind. Go on then. Let's hear it.
Space, the final frontier. To boldly go where I've never gone before. Oh, somebody's a Trekkie on the writing staff.
Then you need me as much as I need you. Together we'll blaze new trails in Tural.
You're not planning to leave without us, are you? Alphino, Alice! What are you two doing here?
We happened to cross paths at Numenon earlier, you see, and I told them about Wuklamot. And when we fortuitously met again at the Agora just now, they expressed an interest in meeting our visitor.
Ah, you must be the twins who are sneaking after Erenville as toads.
Erenville told her about that, huh?
100 things about us you could have told her, and you chose that!
First impressions last.
"'Tis an honor and a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Your Highness. Alphino Leveilleur at your service, and this is my sister Alice."
Rook, something I will note is that the localizers are internal at Square Enix. Koji Fox, if I remember correctly, up until this expansion handled multiple of the localizations.
Oh no, let's not do that. I really can't stand titles. So, you want to participate in the contest too, is that right?
Indeed we do. We've been assisting with the rebuilding effort in Garlemald. Yet while progress is being made, the question remains of how the nation might reconcile with its neighbors.
You know, you would think they would have a map there that isn't covered by clouds in the middle of it. I mean, they are in Old Sharlayan after all.
We believe there is much we might learn from Tuliolal, a nation founded on unity. And in return for this honor, we would spare no effort in supporting your claim.
They likely have to report to Yoshi P. If that answers your question, Rooks.
The more the merrier, I say. And I'd be keen to learn about Eorzea and Garlemald from you as well.
Having recruited so many committed and capable allies, I presume you have no need for my continued assistance?
Nonsense! Like I told you before, you're indispensable. They're strong, aye, but strangers to our land. They need someone to guide them, to point out the dangers and spare them grisly deaths. I can't think of anyone better suited to that task than you. What's more, despite your assertions, I know you haven't given up on the City of Gold.
As I recall, Kryl, you were the first to state your desire to visit Tural.
Perhaps I was. Still, I can't help but worry about being away just when our order is beginning to find its feet again.
You have nothing to worry about. I haven't forgotten how you held the fort while I set off to explore Alzadal's legacy. It's only fair that I return the favor. Pray, leave the students to Ojika and me.
But, Raha...
Huh. So then that's interesting, because in the trailer they actually do show him over there having a taco.
You want to retrace your grandfather's steps, don't you? This is a rare opportunity, and I insist that you seize it.
There's also the issue of, if it's just Alphino, Alizé, and Kryl, then who's going to be the tank of the group? I mean, I can handle that myself, but what about other players?
Thank you, Raha. Thank you.
And again, we did just see Thancred a moment ago, so perhaps he's listening in on this conversation.
Well, looks like it's settled. I'm counting on you all to help me win the throne.
I never totally agreed to that.
I suppose now is a good time to show you what I spent a small fortune on at the Agora. There. This, my friends, is the latest map of the world, created to celebrate our friendship with the Loporrits. Cast your eyes west of Sharlayan, for there it lies.
I still see clouds on that map.
The site of your next great adventure, Tural.
Alright, so, that brings us to the end, almost, of patch 6.55. I'm sure there's going to be, like, one or two final lines or something to wrap things up here, because obviously the quest isn't complete yet. But yeah. Regardless of how I'm feeling about the contest itself, it's I'm looking forward to seeing what's actually going to go on in Tural. Especially with the stuff that was revealed at the Fan Fest. This is going to be an interesting one. Plus, you know, it should be, hopefully at least at the start, it'll be more of a back-to-basics thing. Granted, we know that that's just not going to be the case, with the reveal of Solution 9. But based on what Yoshi P was saying, I would say probably levels 90 to 95 is going to be about the succession, and then 95 to 100 is more when we're going to be dealing with the futuristic stuff in Tyrol. Maybe the quote-unquote southern continent is the first part of the expansion, and then the northern part is where all that futuristic stuff comes into play. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, in terms of Endwalker as a whole, I mean, obviously we had the end of the story, and then, you know, the whole stuff with Zeromus and the 13th, that was a good epilogue. Granted, things are still not done there yet. The hope is that one day introducing more light could actually bring things back into balance there. And even with Dawn Trail, there's still a lot of stuff that, as far as we're aware of, we're not going to be seeing. We're more than likely not going to see Mercidia, which is something I've been looking forward to for a long time. So, you know, maybe that'll be 8.0 or something like that. And then there's still the other reflections that we have yet to go to at this point. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what ends up happening. Yeah, expansions into the future, I guess, which I'll be excited to play at some point. Alright, let's go ahead and get out of this here. Lest you wonder about your passage to Tyrol, Erenville will arrange a ship through his guild. You need only worry about your own preparations. Speaking of which, please take this with you. A rugged and ready knapsack. May it serve you well on your coming adventures. Now, I'm not sure when departure will be, but rest assured, I'll let you know when I hear something. Till then, please take your ease. Meanwhile, in Limsa Luminsa. Oh, we do have more.
When does the next ship set sail?
May I ask your destination?
The north and east, I've already seen. I suppose I'll head west this time.
West, you say?
Meanwhile, in Old Sharlayan, Urianger.
I see you've made up your mind. I had a feeling you'd be keen.
But to think that our comrades too are thither bound. Fate doth work in mysterious ways.
Indeed. It will be a grueling task, having to contend with them.
Now, that's kind of a disappointment, unless there's still an opportunity to. I was hoping that we would actually be able to choose who actually goes with us and who is on the other side of this contest, as it were. Like, what if I wanted to... Like I said before, I'm curious about the other contestants in this thing. And with that, I don't know, maybe there will be a choice where I can actually drop away from our female Hrothgar and join up with these guys instead. That, yeah, it would double the text that the team has to do in terms of writing the story, but then again, I mean, it wouldn't be... I don't think it would be that much compared to the payoff of actually allowing your players to potentially have two different stories. Anyway.
If the prospect doth trouble thee, 'tis not too late to decline the petition. Though thine expression would suggest thou art far from perturbed.
Oh, how could I possibly be, knowing what's to come?
Then let us delay no further and secure passage on a vessel.
Aye. This will be a mission to remember. Come, my friend. We make for Taral.
Alright, there's still one we don't know about yet.
Tell me, have you been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty?
Perfect timing to bring that back up again.
Or the treasure islands beyond the frozen waters of Blind Frost in Offerd's north? The fabled golden cities of the New World?
Weigh anchor now, the tide is high, and dawn of new adventure nigh. Row forth to break horizons' bond and tread the gilded path beyond. Alrighty. And so that does it for the 6.55 main scenario quest. And of course, the next time there's going to be any main scenario quest is when Dawn Trail comes out. We've been told in the summer. We'll have to see just when in the summer that actually means, because summer lasts for, several months. So we'll see. But that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.